he was so very happy. He said they are coming Saturday. He was so happy, he's waiting for you guys, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you want to make a surprise for mom, you know. That's why I really appreciate it. First time he talked to me so loud, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he always back up the car and go inside the car. I really, you know, I can't forget that time.
Yeah.
Then he came to my house, he rang the bell.
Oh, wow.
And he want to pay the money. I said, why? We are neighbors, you know. But no. He said, well, you want to pay the first. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
You know. Sorry, brother. I really miss him, you know.
No,
I very,
appreciate it.
you know.
I appreciate it.
I really feel sorry for, you know, for everybody. He used to play with my daughter and son. You know, my son was crying all the time when he remember him.
Aww.
He said he's a nice guy, you know. He said he can cut his grass. He can do his job all the time to please his mom. That's what he told me. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
To me, it's always a son and the brother Eric and the sister Marnie, because I've witnessed their growth in the way their mother and father brought them up. And Jojo was a very nice kid. There was a time when I had bought a small car, and Jojo was there, and I told him to try running it. And so together we went 401, and he drove it to about 140 kilometers an hour. And Jojo was enjoying the ride, and he said, "Yeah, Tito, this is a good car." And even though we don't see each other very much, we get in touch with the parents. And I was too happy for these three siblings that they are tremendously successful. And I was shocked when I heard about his death, because when his dad died, I felt I lost a brother. And when I heard about George's death, I felt I almost lost a son. And Jojo enjoyed a very successful life. So this is a day for me and all my friends. And we lost a very young, successful guy. And he will be eternally remembered by all our friends, because he's a very nice guy. And may God welcome him at heaven to meet his dad. So Jojo, I'm going to miss you and all my family.
I remember the first time I met Oscar, we were in grade 7 at St. Martin's, and he was a skinny little kid with looked like a large afro. We were part of a bunch of kids, about 10 of us, boys and girls, that sort of hung around each other as we went to school dances, swimming pool parties, basically causing mayhem and disorder, coupled with several visits to Mr. Quinn's and Mr. King's office, both the vice principal and principal at the time. We didn't start forming real friendships till about grade 9, and that is when I literally ran into Oscar on the football field. I was playing middle linebacker on defense, and Oscar was on the offense playing fullback. I hated during practice when he broke through the line. I knew this was going to hurt. The intensity and determination he played with both not only inspired me, but others as well, on and off the field. Near the end of our high school years, he became so popular with all the students, teachers, coupled with his intelligence and his hard working, it seemed that the world was his oyster. Our friendship grew even more as we entered our final years and transitioned into university. We spent many hours in the gym lifting weights, going to concerts, movies, clubs. Not too many commitments. Indeed, it was the best time of our lives.
Hello. First and foremost, I'd like to extend our condolences in behalf of the Rojo family back in the Philippines and us here in Northern California, to Eric and Anila and the kids, Marnie and John, and especially to Tita Baby. I'm truly sad by not just by Jojo's passing, but more of me not wasn't able to reconnect with him. You see, I'm the firstborn grandson of the Rojo family, and after my sister, Jojo was the next grandchild, so he was my first cousin, my really first cousin. But I always remember him as a neat, intelligent 9-year-old boy And that's how my friends describe him from back in the Philippines. I understand that he preferred to live a more private life later on. I don't know if he turned out to be the neat, intelligent guy, but I know that at this point in time, he was able to bring us all closer together, and that I hope he rest in peace, and may God bless his soul.
I always remember Joe as providing me guidance and direction in my childhood growing up. Whether it was during our encounters in Maine or in Toronto, during our Christmas holidays, I was always amazed at how easily Joe taught me how to play a new board game, video game, or even install memory in my laptop. He was patient and demonstrated that method in a concise way, and I easily understood it. And I always admire it, and I try to use it in my personal life. I will miss Joe dearly, and will always remember him as making an impact in my childhood memory.
It's Tom. I miss you. Hopefully, wherever you are, you're at peace. You know, been reminiscing about a lot of the good times that I've had with you. A lot of it pretty funny. Just, you know, some of your lines always used to make us laugh. And just now, I was just, you know, talking with Martin and John, and you know, the summer I spent with you guys when, you know, when I was a teenager. I remember Eric and I were you know, dancing downstairs, and you came by, and, you know, you showed us your moves, and those hip actions were, you know, pretty good. And I always used to say, though, when we were at some function and there was music, you'd never dance. But I do remember your line that as you lived your life, I only danced if there was a purpose. So I think you lived your life that way, and you know, Monica will miss you.
So it's just very private, you know. He just didn't want to open up to anybody. You know? Well, I just like to say, Joe, I'm going to miss you a lot. You know how special you are. I mean, the bond that we had, being you the oldest, I'll just be praying for you and your mom and Marnie and John and Eric, Manila, and the kids. Okay? Thanks.
Joe is a very, very good kid. Concerned to everybody but himself. So, worry to everybody but not himself. So he's very kind and have fun to be with him. And he's always happy if I cook him for a steak and a lobster. I open up on a lobster. He's always happy. He always and here in our heart we love him so much, and we never forget him. He's a good kid. I love you.
He was a role model to me because he was the oldest and I was the youngest, and we had a special bond. He always teased me, and we used to hang out, and he used to put me on top of the refrigerator and get me stuck up there, and Grandma would always yell at him, and he used to always balance me on one hand, and we had so much fun, and I loved him a lot. His life really mattered because he made everybody else happy, no matter if he was suffering or whatever. He always made everybody feel special, and that's how I remember JoJo.
JoJo and I didn't talk much over the past, few years or so, but when we did talk, we usually talked about, or I usually talked about my problems. Joe was always willing to lend an insightful ear. Always had good, positive things to say. He always tried to be encouraging. Joe's big thing, he was all about respect and do the right thing, and he made an impact on me and how I dealt with things. He got us together, and he was always encouraging us to do more, to do better. he got me started playing WoW way back when. You know, I remember all those nights that me, him, Marnie, and John would be running around online, you know, acting crazy. But no matter how crazy we got, Joe was always the in-game general. So, you know, he was always trying to keep us organized and straight and focused. One time I was talking to him, we were playing, and I was talking to him, and I didn't have a microphone, so he called me up, and I'm trying to talk to him on my cell phone and play at the same time, so I'm looking for anything I can, and finally I found a big rubber band, so I attached the cell phone to my ear with a rubber band around my head, and you know, my kids came down and saw me and asked me what the hell I was doing. Joe, he was a good guy. I wish I could have spent more time with him because I like to believe, and I do believe that we were very similar people. We had similar ideas about life and things. You know, I'll miss him. I'll miss the time that we will never spend, and I hope he finds some peace.
First of all, my heart goes to all of you. Me, Marnie, Eric, and your family, the whole family. I understand how you feel, and I cannot describe the hurt that you're feeling right now, because I know that Joe is the oldest, and it feels like the oldest should be the strongest, and that's probably why it hurts the most. Wherever he is, I know that he will be happier and peaceful. As a matter of fact, his dad is probably taking care of him. And that is a big, big, big consolation on our part, isn't it? I remember how jolly you are with your grandpa, grandma, and all your cousins. And when you grew up, you were such a nice young man. So we are going to miss you a lot. We are really, really going to miss you, and we love you.